Now, when I say some of these books are underrated, I'm talking about not talked about enough, or not enough love received. Some of these are even hated. I think my 5th place and 2nd place spot actually receive a bit of hate sometimes, or whatever called, not that great. And it's just like, wow, that's harsh, because they are, in fact, in my opinion, really damn good. And actually, a fair few of these are like 10 out of 10. So, yeah, today we're going to be talking about my most underrated Goosebumps books, in my opinion, of course. So, these are my top 5. I could go on all day about underrated gems in the community, but either way, these aren't exactly gems. They're actually fairly popular, at least a few of these. And we have mostly OG series books on here, but we do have a modern on here, so stay tuned for that in 2nd place. And yeah, I don't think these guys receive enough love, and they're just great. Seriously, they're fantastic reads. I really think you all should check these out. I mean, maybe they won't float everybody's boat. I mean, especially number 1, that one's controversial as fuck. I have nothing else to say. Let's just get into it. Starting off with 5th place, A Shocker on Shock Street. This book is an ass, okay? This is another hated one in the community. One of the few that are going to be on here. So, I would probably put this in an overhated top 20 ranking, maybe. Somewhere higher up there. Whenever I see this, it's usually not in a positive light, and that's really shocking. It's kind of sad overall. Like, it's not actually that fucking bad. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that people hate this book when it is scary, it is tense. These kids are going through extremely rough times. Like, they are being pushed around, drowning in mud, grabbed, bruised. It is brutal. This book is absolutely brutal, these kids. I get that. In the end, I think we all know this twist, but I won't spoil it anyways. Something gets revealed that might counteract all the facts, all the effects that were put on these kids. But then again, they are still, fairly human. I'll just say that. They have, minds of their own. It's not fair. Either way, it is a scary book. Very fucking scary, in my opinion. I think it is a great read all throughout. And also, I'd like to mention that I have reread all these in recent time. I read this in September, and all of these I've read within, the past, 6 or so months. One of these pushing a little bit, it was in July, but one of these was in December. So, yeah, I have read all of these in recent months. So don't call me fucking crazy when you see something on here that's like, oh, that was awful that you just read. So, yeah. Moving on from that, like I said, scary book. Definitely deserves a lot more love since it is action-packed and crazy. How I Got My Shrunken Head is 4th place, mostly because it's kind of invisible amongst the community. Now, I never see this one brought up in conversation. Never see a lot of people putting it very high on their list either. It's not like, oh, this is a must-read. Well, in my opinion, this is a must-read. That's a solid 9 out of 10 OG series right fucking there. And it's just sad that it doesn't get talked about a lot. I think it was in, the weird era of Goosebumps with Bad Hair Day, Egg Monsters from Mars, Beast in the East. And then right before that, we had Abominable Snowman. Pretty weird era of Goosebumps. You had all the weird, wacky books in there. Or some of the weirder ones, at least. And, yeah, it's just, why is it invisible? It's such a great read. It's got action, just like A Shock Street. It's got a unique setting, the jungle. And we have a great twist at the end. I think it's absolutely hilarious. Plus, good characters and stuff. And a good story overall. Just a really great read. I don't know why people don't talk about this one. I don't see hate, really, but I don't see a lot of, really people going out of their way to say it's a great read, because it seriously is. It's a great one. Moving on from that, in our 3rd place spot, we have Bad Hair Day. Yeah, a little bit of a shocker. So, Bad Hair Day, I reread recently, just like all of these, I think November, just like for the last one. And, why is this hated? I don't think it should be this high, honestly. I think I should have put this in 5th place, now thinking about it, but it is still a great read nonetheless. I think this one, the score as high as it does on my ranking in all of Goosebumps, it's like in the top 50, if that tells you anything. Just because it's a fun and different read. If you're looking for something different overall, like really different from the usual Goosebumps shenanigans, yeah, maybe pick this up. Sure, you got some of the stereotypes, but you also got some differences, like we got theft, and turning people into rabbits, and a mazo. It's pretty awesome. So, yeah, I recommend checking this one out if you just want a different read. You know, sprinkle it in there for some variety. Maybe it'll score less when I do reread it if I'm reading just weirder books at that time or something. Or just, you know, over time, maybe I'll think it's not as great as I thought it was initially. I still think it's pretty good, though. I still recommend checking out, nonetheless, if you want a weird book. Now, these next 2 spots are going to be controversial as shit, and I do not give a crap. So, number 2, Dr. Maniac versus Robbie Schwartz. Now, hear me the fuck out. This read is one of the funniest Goosebumps books I have ever read. It is easy to read this one, and I say that not very often, but just often enough that it really does mean something when I say it, okay? When it's easy to read a book, that means it's fun, it's good, and it's got a great story that keeps you hooked. Because I just had another read that I would describe as easy to read, A Night in Terror Tower. Very easy to read because it is fun. I actually want to sit there and finish it as soon as I start it. It's really, really good. This is no exception. This has a great story for being about comics, but there are some issues nonetheless. This is one of the reasons it's 9.5 out of 10. Let's just say the first 10 chapters of the book, or like, you know, 10 or so pages, I don't know how much, but a decent chunk of the first area of the book may or may not be fake. So, yeah, it's kind of annoying when you finish that part, but after that, it just picks right the fuck up. Even if the twist before Horrorland does kind of ruin that a little bit more, it still is a fun read, ignoring those little twists. I think if you can get past that, you'll have a great time with this book, especially if you love superheroes. And I don't like superheroes like at all. If I'm being dead honest, I fucking hate them. Yeah, and I love this book, so that just tells you something. Moving on, we have number 1. And this book is so good, it is in my top 10 of all time. I don't even want to pull it out, it's controversial, but Let's Get Invisible. My number 1 spot is fucking Let's Get Invisible. Why do I say this? This book is scary. I don't care what the fuck y'all say. The concept is genuinely frightening in my opinion. That's what's always the main highlight for this book for me. I always think back upon this and I'm like, yeah, this book's got a really scary concept. I think it's actually frightening. Sure, you're turning invisible, but you're also fucking going away forever. It's pretty scary. The way they describe it, the way they feel, it's detrimental. It just scares the shit out of me. I don't like it. This is a good read. Now, sure, it is slow, but it is got some great writing. Of course, this is Stine's early days of Goosebumps, so he obviously put his heart and soul into this. This is also the longest OG series book. It has 139 pages. I know that before even looking. I only looked here, I swear. Yeah. It's crazy how good this is, for being the longest, too. This one does definitely gets stretched out a bit more than it needs to, and it doesn't have many settings. It really just takes place in the attic just about the entire fucking book. But if you can handle that, you'll have a great time. I thought this book was just fantastic, because each time they use the mirror, I'm like, okay, what's gonna happen? Are they gonna die yet, or is something crazy gonna happen? And it gets worse and worse every time. So, yeah, I really, really recommend this one, especially if you like the mirror stories, just like I do. It's another subgenre in Goosebumps I really seem to enjoy, because Ghost in the Mirror is right above this in my top 10. And I love the Mirror, Mirror on the Wall short story from Tales Book 5, I believe. So yeah, really solid read here. And yeah, that is going to conclude my top 5 most underrated Goosebumps books. I think that some of these more taste-related, you know, the Womping craziness with our first 3 that I showed, and then we have Dr. Maniac, which is more of a, hey, if you're looking for something absolutely out of this world different, like not even just crazy different, it is completely different and wild, yeah, pick that one up, especially since the Horrorland plot in that one is one of the best ones too. And yeah, Let's Get Invisible, if you're looking for something genuinely dark and scary, and also, you know, a bit of a slower read but you can handle, yeah, pick that one up. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I recommend you check out all of these no matter what at some point, of course. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys in the next one. Bye.